What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to the latest Liverpool transfer news video. And in this video we will have a very interesting interview with the Lyon manager, who is saying that Nabil Fekir is struggling to accept the collapse of his Liverpool transfer in the summer, and he is very unhappy at Lyon and the fact that he almost signed for Liverpool. He did a club interview, he was in the official kit, the training kit, he did all the official club photos. It must be really hard for him to now get back to Lyon and be 100% motivated. So what do you think about this? Do you think Liverpool should go in for Nabil Fekir in the January transfer window? I think for a cut price deal, because Fekir will only have 1.5 years left on his contract, and I think if Liverpool would be able to restructure the deal with Lyon and maybe get him for like 35 million or 40 million, I think it would be worth the risk. We don't really know how badly, the medical results came back, because Liverpool and Lyon, of course, won't say anything official about that. But what do you guys want to see? That's what I want to know. So leave your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think that Liverpool will need Nabil Fekir to sustain the title challenge? Because Man City look as strong as last season, and it almost requires a perfect season for Liverpool to just keep pace with them. So I think we need a player like Nabil Fekir who can add another 10-15 goals to this Liverpool side. And also in this video we will take a look at the transfers of Divock Origi and Loris Karius away from Liverpool Football Club, and other news regarding Jurgen Klopp and his interview. So stay tuned. If you enjoy these transfer news videos, please leave a like, it really helps me out. Subscribe, turn on the post notifications so you never miss a future upload. So Fekir has now returned to Lyon, but he hasn't played yet, and his manager Genesio is saying, and I quote, "It is never easy accepting this kind of situation when you are very near to signing for a club where you want to go." Genesio told reporters this, "Where you want to reach another level and to give a boost to your career. But as I said, it could have been worse for him. He's at Lyon at a strong club. He's captain of a team who plays in the Champions League." So I think in the long term, maybe in the next month or two, I'm sure that Nabil Fekir will come to terms with the fact that his dream transfer fell through and didn't materialize. And it must be really heartbreaking for Nabil Fekir, because this was out of his control. He didn't do anything wrong. He just had a medical issue with the operation on his knee 3 years ago, and Liverpool deemed the transfer to be too high of a risk to sign Nabil Fekir on a 5-year contract, pay 50 million pounds to Lyon, and also pay Nabil Fekir about 120k weekly wages, because Liverpool felt that Fekir's knee could break down in the next 1 or 2 years, and it could be a long-term injury, something similar to Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and Liverpool were just not willing to risk this kind of money. But definitely Jurgen Klopp is interested in Nabil Fekir. And Jurgen Klopp has shown time and again that he doesn't really go for the second option or the third option. He wanted Virgil van Dijk, and he was prepared to wait half a season to get him. He wanted Naby Keita and nobody else, and he was prepared to wait a whole year for Naby Keita to sign for Liverpool. And look at those players. Look at Van Dijk, look at Naby Keita, look at Alisson. These guys are, Liverpool's future, and they make a huge difference. And I think if Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp is stubborn enough, and maybe, we can talk to Lyon throughout this first part of the summer, maybe we can convince them to, accept a cut price deal. Because I think there can be a middle ground reached between what Lyon wants and what Liverpool is willing to pay for Nabil Fekir. And I'm sure that the medical results can be taken into account. I'm just optimistic here, and I'm hoping that Liverpool can get this transfer done, because I still think, as good as this Liverpool team is, we are up against one of the best sides in Premier League history. Man City broke all kinds of records. They got to 100 points last season. They got to 106 goals scored last season. And I don't think Liverpool can get near those numbers. Maybe we can get 85, 86 points, but that is 86 points is the best ever season that Liverpool had in the Premier League years, in 25 years. So I think that Liverpool should be aiming to at least break their own record and see where Man City are. But I think we need a player like Nabil Fekir if we really want to reach the 90-point mark, because that is extremely difficult in this super competitive Premier League season. But what do you think about this? Let me know in the comments below. And the next news is that Liverpool opened talks with Borussia Dortmund over the 30 million euro sale of Divock Origi, but the deal could be complicated. And the reason for that is that, you know, even though Borussia Dortmund have a big hole in their team, they really desperately want a new striker. Liverpool want 27 million pounds, and even though Dortmund prefer an initial loan deal with an option to buy, according to ESPN and other news outlets, Liverpool will only let Origi go if he transfers at the end of his loan spell. So they don't really want a scenario where we loan out Origi and if he doesn't light up the Bundesliga, like he didn't light up the Bundesliga at Wolfsburg, even though Wolfsburg had a terrible season, I think Origi would score a lot more goals in Dortmund. But what if Dortmund decide not to buy him? Then Liverpool don't want to be stuck with this player, even though Divock Origi still has 2 years left on his contract. If we don't sell Origi right now, we won't be able to sell him for any, you know, huge amount of money. Origi, on the other hand, he is interested in going to Dortmund, but he's also happy to stay at Liverpool and fight for his place. I don't really understand his mentality, because I'm sure that when you are 23 years old and you want to take your skills to the next level, you want to be playing every week. How many games will Origi start this season? Very, very few, behind you know, Firmino and even behind Daniel Sturridge. So I think Origi's best move is to go to Dortmund. The thing is that maybe Dortmund don't want to pay like 25 million for Origi right now. They want to see how Origi adapts to their team and how good he is in this Dortmund team. I think the Origi would score quite a lot of goals in the Dortmund side, because they create a lot of chances. But you know, if Dortmund don't want to have a deal where we send Origi out on loan to Dortmund and they have to buy at the end of the season for 25 million pounds, if Dortmund doesn't want that, do we keep Origi or do we sell him to another club? Let me know what is the best option that Liverpool could take. And also, this rumor has been rumbling on that Liverpool are in talks with Besiktas over a 2-year loan deal for Loris Karius. And I will be honest, this really surprises me. I thought that we would keep Karius at the club and send Mignolet out in a transfer, but at the moment it looks like that there is no significant interest in Mignolet, even though a couple of clubs have inquired about Simon Mignolet as availability, but they don't want to pay the money. But what is weird about this transfer is that it's not a 1-year loan, it's a 2-year loan for a player like Karius, and the loan fee would be 2.2 million pounds, which is almost nothing. Besiktas would be obligated to make the switch permanent, so to make the transfer permanent, with a further 7 million pounds in the event of you know, Karius making enough appearances and qualifying for a European competition. And those are just incentives that almost 100% will be met, because Karius will play most of the games. Besiktas really want a new goalkeeper. They sold their most experienced goalkeeper not too long ago, and also Besiktas are almost certain to qualify for Europe, at least finish in the top 3 or top 4 in the Turkish league. So I think Karius wants to, you know, stay at Liverpool, but maybe Liverpool are looking to loan him out with an option to buy. And I'm not sure how I feel about this. Jurgen Klopp said himself that after the concussion scenario was discovered, he was pretty clear that that's why Karius performed so badly in the Champions League. but you can see that it really affected him. It really knocked back his confidence, and he needs a change of scenery. But I would have expected him to go to either Germany or to Spain. So to go to Turkey, to not like a top level league, I'm not sure how I feel about it. And also I'm not sure how I feel about these transfer fees, because yes, Karius' stock is pretty low, but I think we should be able to get more money than the £9.5 million that we would get at the end of his 2-year loan spell, because we sold our third choice goalkeeper, Danny Ward, for more money. Maybe this is why Karius' reputation is absolutely shot, and maybe this is why I was more willing to sell Mignolet right now and keep Karius at the club. But even if Karius plays in the League Cup or the FA Cup, the opposition fans will just absolutely ruin him with their chanting and everything, and Karius doesn't need that for his confidence. He needs to maybe move away from England and the English media and rebuild his career. So maybe this is the best option for all parties, but let me know what do you want with Karius to happen. And it looks like Jurgen Klopp decided to let Karius go after a deal for Mignolet to join Fulham didn't materialize. It fell through, and in the end Mignolet will be our second choice goalkeeper, it looks like. And I'm aboard on this. I didn't really want to sell both Karius and Mignolet or loan them out or anything like that. We need one experienced goalkeeper on the bench, because anything can happen in football, and if Alisson gets a long-term injury, God forbid it doesn't happen, but if Alisson gets a long-term injury, we need a goalkeeper who can fill in for him. And I think Mignolet in the long term will leave Liverpool, and this I think opens up a possibility of Liverpool signing a young goalkeeper who could maybe develop under Alisson and be, you know, a second choice goalkeeper. I don't think Karius would be happy to, and also Mignolet definitely wouldn't be happy to stay at Liverpool and just be a second choice goalkeeper and sit on the bench almost every week. I think Alisson will play the Premier League and the Champions League games, and maybe Mignolet will get the League Cup games and the FA Cup games, but we shall wait and see. So at the moment it looks like that Mignolet will stay and Karius will leave in this transfer window. The big question is, will Karius leave permanently, or will it be a 2-year loan with you know, options to buy at the end of his spell? At the moment that's the most likely scenario. And there are some players that Liverpool are still looking to loan out or sell. One of the players that Liverpool are looking to loan out is Dominic Solanke. He desperately needs playing time. He's a very young player, something like 21 years old, and there is talk of him joining Rangers. But Steven Gerrard's Rangers just signed Kyle Lafferty from, I think, Hibernian. He used to be a Rangers striker, so I don't think there is room for Solanke to go there. And of course, other foreign clubs can still sign Solanke. I would prefer him to go out on loan, maybe to the Bundesliga, which is probably the most similar league to the Premier League out of the top 5 leagues. And we already loaned out Alan, the Brazilian, who doesn't have a work permit still. We loaned him out to Hertha Berlin. And the other player that we are looking to sell is Lazar Markovic, who actually scored in pre-season, but Liverpool want around 7 million for his services, and they still no takers for him, which I can't really say I'm surprised about that, because Lazar Markovic has pretty much failed quite miserably at all the clubs that he was on loan at: Fenerbahce, Sporting, Hull City, Anderlecht. And it's one of the biggest failures of Liverpool's transfer committee to sign him for £20 million in 2014. It looks like he just doesn't have the hunger, the desire, the motivation to be a top-level footballer. And just to end the video on a more, you know, light-hearted note, it looks like that Joe Gomez is now likely to be recalled for the England national team. He missed the World Cup because of his injury that he had at the end of last season, but now against Spain at Wembley on September the 8th and the friendly with Switzerland in Leicester 3 days later. It looks like that Joe Gomez will be called up, and to be fair to him, he had two really solid, stellar performances in the heart of the defense alongside Virgil van Dijk, and I think Joe Gomez could be our future #1 centre-back once Matip and Lovren leave the club. So I'm really excited for his future, and I'm really excited to see what he can do in the England setup. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like. Thanks for watching. See you later, guys. Goodbye.